Welcome to the Holeinthewall Business Podcast with Bill and James. I'm James Groves, and along with my business partner, Bill DeMent, we want to share our journey as small business owners with you. As owners of Holeinthewall Drywall Repair, we will attempt to peel back the curtain of owning a small business in the trade service industry and talk about the many adventures of owning a small business. Hey, Bill.
James, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Glad to see you made it back from the IFPG.
Holy moly, it's been a
Fort Lauderdale.
busy time. This is our first podcast this month, and it's been almost a month.
It's been a really busy season, though, hasn't it?
So sorry, listener, we've not been keeping up to date. We've been extremely busy with medical issues and business issues, and
it's been a lot.
Growing the franchise.
You know, the good news is, though, you showed up from South Florida with a new friend, and I know. I only got to meet him just before the show, and I'm going, I get him already. I just get it.
So one of the benefits of being franchising is we get to experience broker conference groups, these conferences for the franchise brokers. In the old days, we used to try and sell just to the actual candidate through shows and such. Well, now that we're part of groups like IFPG, TES, FBA, Franchise Sidekick, the U Group, we've got over 2,000 brokers that all know about Holeinthewall that are trying to then expose us to the masses. So every year, especially around the fall, we have conferences. And so we got to meet up with all the Fran Growth team. There's like 9 brands total now. And I've known of Les, the owner of Mr. Duct Cleaner. We've exchanged an email or two here or there. But then actually meeting him in person as part of the Fran Growth group was kind of fun. So I would love to take a second, introduce Les Clow. He's the owner and founder of the franchise brand, Mr. Duct Cleaner. Les, welcome.
Yeah, welcome in, Les.
Hey, fellas, thanks for having me. I appreciate you extending some Floridian courtesy.
Yeah.
We're courteous. We're not Texas courteous, but we're pretty courteous.
Well, I am curious. Are you holding over for the show next week?
I have decided that I'm going to stay in Orlando until Sunday through Wednesday.
Okay.
And then I drove in, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't even fly in. It's a 20-hour drive.
That's a long
for
drive.
a couple of different reasons, but one, so that I could show off the Mr. Duct Cleaner mobile and put it in front of all the brokers. So that it's, you're always selling, selling. So
absolutely.
Had a great show. Good to meet James. Good to meet you. And it's always fun working these shows because you meet so many new people.
Yeah.
And it's invigorating. And you're introducing your brand to a lot of people that haven't maybe heard about you before. But then when they hear about you and they find out, oh, you guys are with Fran Growth like Holeinthewall, you must have some credibility. Well, we're getting there. We're working toward it. Yeah. Always working every day. Every day that ends in Y.
Yeah, we actually have Andrew, our guy. Instead of going back to Waco, he just
held over and stayed here.
Held over and stayed.
Right.
So
working from here.
Yeah. Obviously, if you're driving, it made perfect sense to stay. So good for you. Well, I'm glad you did because you got a chance to come hang out with us here for a little bit. And
of course.
I'm super excited about kind of where the trajectory, because we're really mirroring each other in a lot of ways. Because you came on Fran Growth earlier this year. We came on end of last year, but we didn't really start really galloping until January.
Yeah, it was kind of January.
So we're probably just a month or two ahead of you, and you're already making sales, selling units, acquiring, winning franchises.
Yeah, doing well.
As we are. So as of this podcast, we are 10
owners.
10 owners plus headquarters. 8 of those are open.
25 territories.
And you are?
We're 8 open, 3 more about to open, about to come through training.
Yeah. We're just neck and neck. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love that for you.
Although I don't have a podcast, you guys are kind of big time.
Yeah, we're absolutely big time. We have had some big players on, but we do it really just because Bill and I like to hear ourselves talk, and we like to hear stories.
Everyone likes to hear you talk. Yeah. Everyone's like, "Can you do the voiceover for me, James? Can you?"
There you go.
It's got that buttery baritone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to learn a little more about you, have my audience just kind of get to know who you are, kind of where you came from briefly, and then I'd love to dig into Mr. Duct Cleaner and just kind of why and how and the franchising, all the good stuff. So let us know kind of who is Les, and then how'd you get where you are?
Yeah, well, it's a long and varied road, like all entrepreneurs. It's never a straight line.
No,
it's
isn't.
Up, it's down, it's backwards 2 steps, forward 3 steps. I've been a business owner for the past 30 years, construction-related general contracting, commercial construction, hurricane work, and got into this business of indoor air quality 15 years ago. But, I'm a Dallas guy, born in Dallas, downtown Dallas, been in Texas my whole life. In fact, speaking of that, every summer I think the same thing. why do I live here? It's too hot. And then I come to Florida, and it's even hotter, and it shouldn't be. But I've been an entrepreneur most of my life, and I got into construction in college, started swinging a hammer, and loved it. In fact, my degree is in advertising from 1993. And there was no mention in 1993 about anything digital. Anything internet related. It did not exist. It wasn't a thing. It was all outdoor boards, radio, TV spots.
Newspapers.
And so newspaper, magazines. And so I go on these interviews with these big, ad companies in Dallas. And they go, yeah, we'll hire you. We'll pay you $12,000 a year. And I go, I'm making $25 an hour in 1993 swinging a hammer. So I think I'm going to pass. And so even after I graduated, I kept working, in high-end residential construction. And I loved it. It's great to get out there and, build something, put something together and look at it when it's complete and just go, wow, I did that. And it's the same thing with business ownership in that it's a tough row to hoe. But when you put together your processes and your plans and you meet enough people that can educate you like you guys are educating me right now, our whole goal, when I started franchising 4.5 years ago was to help small business owners be successful because I'd already done all the dumb things. I'd done all the smart things. I'd done the things in the middle. So why don't we help other people experience business ownership, which is a little different than entrepreneurship, and help them avoid those risks and those pitfalls that come with it. But yeah, I've owned construction companies before this, and then, started as a one-off duct cleaning company in Dallas area.
So where did that idea germinate from?
Okay, I'll tell you. So I didn't do a whole lot of residential construction, but I did some fire reconstruction on the residential side for people that I knew. And one of my superintendents was out sick one day, and he said, hey, Les, I need you to go check on this job. They're doing the duct cleaning today, then final clean's going to come in after them, then punch list, and we're out. And I said, okay. So I go to this job, and I didn't, I was the boss. I didn't do a lot of the day-to-day management. I paid the bills.
Yeah.
My superintendents, they hired the subs and made sure that it was within the budget. And so I show up, and there's these guys over here from this company that's now out of business, but it's 2 guys, a truck, and some equipment on this fire job. Now, we've already done all the putback. We've done all the painting. These guys are going to come in the final clean crew, right? And so I'm talking to these 2 guys, and I knew the owner of the company from a different life. But so these 2 young dudes, they come in, they do the work. They're done in about 5 hours, and they give me an invoice for $1,200. And I go, hold on. Let's talk about this, boys. Come here. I want to talk to y'all. And so I said, okay, 2 guys, you got a truck, you got equipment, you got general liability insurance, you got auto insurance. That's a 50% margin, if anything.
Yeah.
And so I asked them, I said, hey, where'd you guys buy your equipment? And they said, nah, Frank said not to tell you because you go start your own company. Well, I just looked at the brand on the equipment, called that day, went and picked it up the next day. And then I was in the duct cleaning business.
Wow.
Had no idea what I was doing. But you know what? YouTube University,
Yeah.
that's a great teacher.
Yes, it is.
But you know what else I did? I got on Facebook and I got into all these groups, these nationwide companies that, hey, I'm in Dallas. I'm starting this up. What do you know? What can you teach me? And I ask specific questions. And that's a good thing now with, what we do, being a little seasoned, we got a little gray, we got a little, missing a little hair up top, that we've had that experience and we can pass that along to other folks. And I love teaching entrepreneurs and business owners. That's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, we love that too.
So kind of jumping into the duct cleaning world, you were doing that in conjunction with your other.
I did keep my construction company going. And very quickly, I found out, 12% of this big job or 50% of a bunch of jobs, and we're in and out in a day or 2 days, or commercial jobs, maybe 6 weeks. The margins are there, but more importantly, the lifestyle.
Right.
Meaning when you're a GC, and there's a lot of former GCs, that's a very stressful job because you're keeping up with every single trade, all the vendors, all the product suppliers.
Yeah, everything runs through you.
Yeah, property management company. You're doing the whole thing. And now we focus on one thing, indoor air quality. And here's what you think as a kid, I thought, okay, I'm a carpenter. Then I'm going to be a builder. Then I'm going to be a land developer. then I'm king of the world, right? That's how I
Yeah.
thought. But once I started being a sub, I went, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. I have people that call me 4 or 5 times a month, hey, I've got a job for you. And all we have to do is go and produce it within their budget, do a good job. And they keep calling us. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So in my mind's eye, I see duct cleaning pretty simplistically. You know, what I've seen is a guy has a van, like a vacuum system maybe, and then he's running a brush through the ducting and to clean it out. But I have an idea there's so much more to it than that.
Yeah, there's wide and varied types of equipment you can buy. There's portable, there's truck mount, there's air whips, there's brushes. It really all comes down to the technician doing the work. If the technician cares about the job and they've been trained properly, then they're going to get the job done. But yeah, I mean, you're cleaning coils, you're cleaning variable air volume units, fan coil units, sometimes cooling towers, rooftop units. And, you know, we deal with a lot of mostly event-driven activity, meaning there's a mold issue, or somebody bought a new house, or somebody has COPD or breathing issues, or, you know, you have an employee that's complaining to the property manager, hey, I've got this stuff coming out of these ducts down on top of my desk. Well, there's a liability there for that property owner or manager.
Sure.
So we handle up on that.
So let's talk real fast about who gives you business. What's the best line of business, the avenue for leads for you?
The water and fire damage restoration guys.
Okay.
All those national brands we know, Restoration One, Serpro, 911 Restoration, Paul Davis, all those folks, they give us business across the country in all of our locations, which, I mean, we're only in 6 states. So we're getting there. We call them national accounts, and we have an outbound call center that calls into them for the franchisees to help, you know, offer that handshake and make that introduction. But that's our number one. Number two would probably be mold companies, either mold assessors or mold remediators, depending on the state and what the licensure is. But gosh, we get carpet cleaners, remodelers, property managers, realtors, you know, and of course we have the internet that sends us a decent amount of work as well, but we don't, that's kind of gravy to us. Mm-hmm. We really focus on the referral partner, meaning all those folks, like we have a list of 13 different groups we go to that send us work.
And so the average homeowner, when should we even think about getting our ducts cleaned?
That's always the big question, isn't it? So for me, it's event driven. It's not a timed process, meaning every 3 to 5 years for me. It's, did you have something, did you get your wood floors refinished? Did you have a kitchen remodel on the residential side? On the commercial side, hey, I just took over management of this property. It's been dormant for 2 years. We know the air is going to be stale. It's going to be horrible. Plus, the way our building infrastructure is put together these days, everything is so tight. So you don't have any infiltration or exfiltration of outdoor air. Now, on the commercial side, they're pretty good at bringing in outdoor air when it's 60 degrees. The residential side, not as much. They're still working on it, you know, because you've got to decrease that humidity before it comes in, because you don't want to have high humidity issues. But it's typically event driven versus time driven. And I had a conversation, you know, with somebody yesterday, and she said, hey, can you come every year and do this? And I said, no, ma'am, I can't. She goes, why not? And I go, well, you don't need it every year. You know, maybe 4 or 5 years from now, we'll come back, we'll open things up, we'll look at it, see what it looks like. And if you need it done, we'll get it done. But there's no reason for us to do it every year because it's not necessary.
So would you recommend doing it before you move into a new home?
So there's some life experience right there. So back when I had to work for a living swinging a hammer, if it was cold, we turned on the heat. If it was hot, we turned on the air. We didn't look to see if there was any filter in place. And the ducts were not blocked off. And typically 90% of the new home construction, even commercial construction, is not blocked off either. And so I learned from, you know, being a carpenter that new construction absolutely does need it. Because even when you do put a filter in there, builder grade filters are not very good. You know, they're $10, $14, what have you. We call them bowling ball catchers. That's all it's stopping. So all that dust from the sheetrock, tape bed texture paint, the trim guys, the paint guys, all that stuff is filtering through the system. And so when somebody moves into a new home, sheetrock dust, it's like talcum powder.
Oh, it's insidious.
It's the hardest stuff to pull out because it's so minute. And so we do a lot of new commercial construction and new residential construction before people move in. Yeah, indoor air quality, there's some things I'd like to unlearn about what we breathe every day.
Yeah.
But it's like watching those 2020 specials about hotels and what's in those. You can't unlearn that stuff. I can't unlearn what I know about indoor air quality.
So do you guys actually do air testing? Like, do you have the ability to do that as part of what you do?
In Texas, no.
Okay.
It's a separate licensed industry.
All right.
So, well, I mean, think about it this way. If I could test, or actually not us, but somebody that's nefarious, they would come in and test and go, oh, yeah, you have bad air. You have to get your ducts cleaned. Mm-hmm. So at least in Texas, I know Florida's separate also.
Well, yeah, Florida's like that too, particularly with mold.
Especially with mold, yeah. There's a big separation, and I get that question very often. Hey, can you test for mold? And I go, I can't. It's a licensed vocation where we're at, but also because, well, we had litigation in the 80s in Texas about, that's why we have the differentiation of those industries, because of course you would test and go, oh yeah, you have mold. Hey, let's remediate it for $87,000 and tear down your whole house.
Yeah.
So what about you if you're moving into a pre-lived-in home? Do you recommend doing it then?
Quite a bit. Here's why. A lot of times we deal with the previous owners were smokers. Mm-hmm. Oof. You talk about some work. Man, that's some work right there, because that tar and nicotine, it's sticky. And
you have a way to remove that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a whole lot of different equipment and chemicals used, because it takes about 3 times longer than just say new construction dust or regular dust or a mold remediation type job. And but the previous owner might have had cats, they might have had dogs. Maybe there's a smell in the house. We work, and we have some equipment we also set inside the house to help, because we like to clean the air as well as the HVAC system, because we don't want to cross-contaminate. Like we clean the HVAC system and the duct work. Well, once we kick that unit back on, we're pulling that indoor air in.
Okay.
So we want to make sure we've cleaned the air inside the house with a couple of different types of equipment.
Yeah. So I want to circle back a little bit. What was the first year when you decided I'm going to start?
So entrepreneurs, we're not very bright.
I had noticed that as well.
and I'll just use my example of my lack of intellect in that I'm rolling along. I got a great business rolling. And I go, you know what? I need a different lifestyle, because I had 3 kids at home at the time. And I started during the recession in 2009. And people that are not entrepreneurs all said, this is a horrible time to start a business. It's always a great time to start a business if you know it's going to work. Well, heck, I didn't know it was going to work. I knew I could work at it. I knew I was going to get up every day and grind, which is what you have to do no matter you're an employee or an entrepreneur or a business owner. And so, I decided, let's start in a recession when interest rates are, 10%, 11%. Mm-hmm. Nobody's buying houses.
Nope.
Yeah, but I went, hey, this is a great idea, Les. Let's go do this right now. And I'm glad I did, because it's kind of working out.
So at what point did you say, you know what, we could take this? I mean, was it always Mr. Duct Cleaner? Did you have a different name? Like we were DeMent Painting and Drywall for many years before you became Holeinthewall.
Yeah.
And then at what point did you decide that you wanted to take this thing nationwide?
Well, I started as North Texas Duct Cleaning because, a degree in advertising and marketing, I did learn some things. And that was when your website was king, right? It was all about getting keywords.
Yeah.
So I knew I need to say what I do and where do I do it. Mm-hmm. Okay. North Texas is a little long, different colors, different look. Let's fast forward 8 years from 2009. I said, you know what, Les? Because I talk to myself a lot.
And you call yourself Les.
I'm in the third person here. I said, what if you want to franchise this one day? What if? Like you're doing good in Dallas, Fort Worth, but what if? I wanted to give myself the opportunity if I chose that later. So I rebranded everything, changed the name of Mr. Duct Cleaner, changed the color scheme, changed the vans, changed the equipment.
Did you notice that affect your business when you had to shift like that?
Yeah, everybody started asking me if I was a franchise.
Oh, okay.
Which was my goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I wanted to look bigger than I was. And I did, even though it was way before franchising. And every time somebody asked me, hey, are you a franchise? It kind of, made me feel good, gave me a pat on the back. Because, as an entrepreneur, Nobody pats you on the back.
Gosh.
Nobody tells you good job. You don't have you have to go to peers with other companies.
But you do get those. Once we had 2 or 3 vans on the road for Holeinthewall. People are saying, "I see your vans everywhere." Like, oh my gosh! In the morning, I just see them just pouring. There was 3 vans.
Yeah.
Their perception was, "You guys are huge. You guys are everywhere."
You're everywhere, and that's funny. You know, we have 6 territories in Dallas, Fort Worth, and I've lived in Dallas my whole life, and I get texts every single day. Hey, I saw one of your vans. Well, it probably wasn't one of my vans, but it was one of the Mr. Duct Cleaner vans from one of the franchisees, and it makes me feel good.
It never gets old, does it?
I was driving. I had to go down to San Antonio to help a couple of Houston franchisees look at this Air Force base a few weeks ago. And as I'm driving down, I'm 2 hours away from Dallas, an hour or 2 before San Antonio, and I see a Mr. Duct Cleaner van. I had no idea whose it was.
Oh, that's
And
great.
I went, wow, this is a big deal. Who is that? So I started texting, hey, whose van's driving up and down 35? I want to, it makes you feel good to see your brand out there on the road. Sure.
Yeah.
And the thing as an entrepreneur too, is you get to look back. Now, I don't often say I built that. I normally say we built that, because nobody exists in a vacuum.
No.
Like, you're an entrepreneur and you've got to be the driving force, and you've got to have the vision. You've got to put out the strategy, but you also have to have the right people.
A team is helpful.
If you don't have the right people, you're going to fail immediately, and you've got to train those people and teach them the vision. What is this company's vision? Ours is always and has been, as we started franchising, help small business owners be successful. So with that guiding principle, that's how we develop training, marketing, sales, operations.
So how much time and effort did you have developing all that? Like, I remember when we were doing training, it was a lengthy,
It was a lot.
somewhat painful experience. We had essentially a school marm that came every couple of weeks, and she had assignments for. No, she was so good.
A school marm, I love that.
And she had assignments for us, and she described going home, and she had a king size bed, and she'd have all this stuff laid out, like there was no bed showing, and she's just working through all this stuff. And then she would show up a couple of times a month. We'd have a several hour meeting
We've
with
been
her.
documenting for years. And so we'd have all these Google Drives full of files that were just not really cohesive in a training concept. And so we brought in Bonnie. She came in and created our first, here's what it should look like book.
We actually called it the Bonnie book.
We did, yeah. Yeah. It wasn't cheap, but it's the book we use today.
No, it's the same one we have. And one of the really clever things she did, we use an online training portal called Trainual. And she was able to line up everything in the Bonnie book along with Trainual. So they're all coded the same. If you go to one section in Trainual, it's the same thing in the training book.
Is Bonnie available?
Yes.
I'm sure she is.
She is.
Yeah.
And she is worth the money.
Well, that's the thing about how much effort went into it. I would say all of it, but it's continuous.
Absolutely.
It's constantly evolving. You're constantly changing,
Yeah.
moving things, getting better. But and the reason it's constantly evolving is as we bring on new franchisees. So it used to be, how did Les Clow do it, right? But every franchisee that comes on board, I say, hey, listen, if you have an idea, a better, faster, cheaper way to do something, a different way, a better way, let me know. Let me try it out in one territory.
Yes.
And if it works out, let's push it out to everybody in the brand. And that's the power of having a brand.
If your idea is better, we're going with your idea.
Yeah. So, there's been multiple different operations, things that have come in from different franchisees that I go, dang it. I kick myself going, that's so obvious to me now. How come I didn't do that, for the, past 20,000 projects?
Yep. It's actually one of the things that it's almost undocumented. It's kind of hard to put into words, the camaraderie and the innovation that happens when you have a group of owners that are all working for one big goal.
Yeah, common purpose.
For one common purpose. We had a franchise call today with just all of our owners. We do an owners call every Friday. And occasionally you have someone that has like a great idea. And you say, well, look at this new win that we just did. And then, well, where did you get that technique? And they're all looking out for each other. So instead of Bill and I, we're smart dudes. I got it. But we're not as smart as the collective.
No.
The whole collective is smarter than the sum.
Yeah, it's like we have an operational mastermind.
Well, that's the great thing about franchising, in business ownership, is you get so many different and varied intellects coming in and different backgrounds. And so, we have run the gamut, just like you guys, of where do people come from. We've got master's degrees, doctorates. We've got no college degree. We've got retail, we have teachers, we have indoor air quality restoration people. You know, you just met Alex Vibert. He's an E2 visa guy. He's from France. He moved his whole family over here to Orlando because he saw an opportunity, and he's crushing it.
Yeah. That's humbling, isn't it? To know that someone is willing to sacrifice, move, quit a career. I mean, we've got people that, big 6-figure jobs, they hate corporate world, they're cashing their 401k plan or whatever it is, and they're buying our concept.
They want to do, and I'm constantly find myself going, and they want to do something else, and they think this is it. It just,
it's a vote of confidence, but then it's also an overwhelming amount of responsibility.
Oh, sobering.
He's going to bring his wife and his 3 kids over here.
And he just cashed.
His kids didn't speak any English when they moved here.
Oh my gosh.
And so, I mean, I think, business is a very serious topic for me. And so you have that responsibility of, it's my job to make sure that he's successful.
Yes. Yeah, I got it. And we're watching guys cash in their 401ks. Like that's their future, their retirement. And you know what? It is incumbent upon us to give them our best shot.
100%.
Yeah. And like you said, constantly improving.
What was really fun is it's working. Like we're seeing people who've been in business less than 6 months just killing it.
Yeah.
Going, hey, Bill, we did have a good idea here. Hey, this is something that, a guy from France can come over to America and buy your idea, and they're making it work. He's making a living.
Yeah.
How crazy cool is that?
And it's one of those things where we're constantly evolving the playbook. And the idea behind any franchise concept is, okay, you've had a founder, you had somebody that's most of the time, proved the concept over years as a one-off. Now we're pushing it out to the masses and follow the playbook. I've spent, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of dollars on mistakes the past 15 years, learning what works and what doesn't work, whether it be operations, marketing, sales, advertising, and what works and what doesn't. And that's what the franchisee is buying. You're buying my mistakes and my successes, but now they're buying the brand's successes, which the people that follow the playbook, which is pretty much everybody, they're crushing it.
Yeah. Well, we like to phrase it, we can start you on second base.
I like that.
You don't have to get a hit. And I'm going to be your third base coach. So I'm going to tell you when to stop, when to run, go home,
I'm stealing that.
No, it's great. No, but it's so true. Because so many of the people that we're selling to, they're cubicle people.
Corporate refugees.
And they've always drawn a check. They don't realize that you have to go, even in a big corporation, James and I were having this conversation earlier today, even inside a really large corporation, nobody in that corporation gets paid unless somebody goes out and sells something. Now there's work to do.
Yeah, nothing happens till something gets sold.
And if you've lived in a cubicle, you don't know you go join a B&I group. You don't know that you get involved in a mastermind or you the Chamber of Commerce and you go out and network, not net loafing, networking. It's, you're out there pushing.
Yeah, we're very upfront about what it means to buy a franchise. You're not buying a job. You're buying a business that you can build equity in that's worth something, but you have to work.
You absolutely do.
It's not just because you put the Mr. Duct Cleaner logo on your shirt does not mean revenue just starts rolling in automatically. Now, we do some things so that revenue does roll in automatically, but that's not all your business.
Right.
You got to get out there and hustle no matter what you're doing.
Well, we caution, don't hide behind the brand. It's a great brand. Holeinthewall is a good brand, easily recognizable. People get immediately what you do. Don't hide behind it because in your community, you're hole in the wall. You have to go out and be hole in the wall and spread the word in your community.
I love y'all's brand.
Thank you.
It's a good look.
Yeah, we're happy with it. I really am encouraged by the level of caliber of people we're finding. We've got IT professionals. We have a guy he was the vice president of IT for all of HCA hospitals in Boise, Idaho.
Wow, fantastic!
And left his job.
Yeah,
left the whole world of IT.
No, it's true. There's another guy in our pipeline has a doctoral degree in ceramic manufacturing.
He's got a PhD in
he's not
engineering.
he's not making pottery. This guy is designing nozzles for the space program. And he's like, no, I need to do something else. And he thinks this is it. You know what I mean? It's
Like, I hate corporate world. I
don't want to do it. I can't do it anymore.
I think a lot of the corporate folks, they look at the service industry, which we're both in, and they go, well, that's, and look, I love my brand. I love Mr. Duct Cleaner, but it's not that complicated, what we do. And I think a lot of the corporate folks look at it and go, okay, I'm not filling out 18 TPS reports a day. It's my business. I get to do it, following the playbook. I set my own hours, but they have to set their own hours to work.
Yeah.
And the corporate folks, they come in and go, well, this is fantastic. I get to go watch my kids play at 2:00 this afternoon. I don't have to report it to a boss or 2 bosses or 3 bosses. Ask for PTO. I just go. Wow, it's very liberating.
Yeah, it is.
We get asked a lot, like, well, how much can we make? It's like, well, really the question is how hard are you willing to work?
100%.
Yeah.
I have no idea how hard you're going to work.
Yeah.
So I've got one guy that will join every single networking group there is, and he will pull in tons of money every month. I got other guys that they're in one group, and then, well, we call it burning shoe leather. You have to get out there and just make those relationships.
I got to tell you, the networking groups are great for home services.
Oh, it's terrific. We went to the home show, and they have about 4 of them every year. The Home and Garden, they have the Home and Garden Expo, Home and Garden Show, and we just put it on our unit. We don't get a booth. We just
I don't either.
We just take our cards out there and
they
walk
highly
around.
discourage that.
Yeah.
But also as entrepreneurs, we really don't follow the rules, do we?
No, we don't. And we pick up new people every time. I was talking Mike Elliott, our manager here for Orlando. He and I went to an event. It's the Greater Orlando Builders Association, which we became members of earlier this year.
Yeah.
And they had an event, Meet the Builders. Mm-hmm. And frankly, the day we went, I think I was coming down with something. I didn't feel well. I think it was COVID, but anyway, you don't want to spread that around, literally. And Mike was having a family thing, like he was just totally distracted. And we went to the show. Les, there was 1 million people there. It was so loud. We were already not feeling well. We already had family issues going on.
Didn't want to be there.
We only stayed for an hour.
Okay.
And it was like a 3-hour thing. But during that, Mike handed a card to a large AC company here in Orlando. They're all over the state, but they headquarters out of here. We've been trying to get in their front door for a couple of years. Greatest people in the world. I cannot get past their gatekeeper. And in a 30-second conversation, Mike handed a card to not a guy, the guy. And within 2 days, the work started turning on. I don't know if you know this or not, but we were only working for one of their 3 offices in Orlando.
Oh.
Another one turned on today. He says, I need you guys. I have jobs stacked up.
Fantastic.
Show up and keep showing up.
This is the lesson we teach everybody.
Show up and just keep
our
showing
staff,
up.
our owners. We actually had Wes on the podcast from GOBA, and he's like, listen, when you don't show up, nobody misses
Nobody
you.
will miss you.
Mm-mm.
They don't miss you.
Yeah,
But when you do show up, they know who you are.
And they're glad to see you.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to do business with somebody they know, they like, and they trust.
And GOBA does not, a lot of members of GOBA will not use anyone that does not become a part of GOBA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So once you're a member there, like I was talking with Alex earlier, then you get in the door of all these other trades.
Yeah, I found on networking too, your consistency really matters. And so as a kid, I used to go to networking events and I thought networking was all about getting something from somebody. And I guess maybe the end result, maybe it is, but it's not. It's about building relationships and helping each other out, because I've got a lot of referral partners that I send a lot of work to for what we do, especially the mold guys and restoration guys. And, you get to a certain point in your career where you get to do business with people that you like. And the people that I like are the people that show up, like you're talking about. And the people that want to work. Work doesn't have to be your entire life. Now, I like to work at every day that ends in Y, but that's where I'm at with my career with Mr. Duct Cleaner Franchise Systems, right? Like, I'm trying to build something here, and it takes every single day. I got to grind every single day because I've got a whole bunch of people depending on me and my team to help them be successful. So you got to show up every day.
Well, that's part of the formula. And if you can get your franchisees to buy into that, you can extrapolate from the available data. They should have a similar experience to you. If they're pulling the same levers, pushing the same buttons, they should have a similar experience and similar growth.
Of course.
Yeah. I hate this question. I'm going to ask it. Who's your ideal candidate?
I hate that question too.
Right.
Well, yeah, okay. You know what? I'm going to start at the most basic. Okay. So I have franchisees ask me, and we have a system for doing this. How do I hire technicians? Okay. Okay, Les, what do you look for? Number one, people that are going to show up every day. And it's the same thing with franchisees. Mm-hmm. Now, the biggest answer for me to that question is somebody's going to follow the playbook. If you come in and you say you want to advertise on shopping carts, well, that's not really what we do. Did you read the O&T manual? Do you remember going through training last week? Did Les ever bring up shopping carts? No, because we're very rifle approached in our sales activity. So I think that's number one. You got to follow the playbook. It's people that are ambitious and they want to create something. Somebody wants to create equity. They want to build a business. And because there's nothing like building a business, because as the franchisees can say, they can say, I built that, because they're the principal. Maybe some of them have partners or a wife or husband that's involved, but they're hands-on, and it's up to them. As much support as I can give them, I can't make them do it. Nope. So it's really up to that franchisee. If they want it, they can go get it. Here's the book. All you got to do is follow this. And again, I love Mr. Duct Cleaner. I love this business, but it's not that technical.
Yeah.
It's a very simple. We do one thing, indoor air quality, and we do it over and over and over again. It's just about going out there and getting work.
We tend to navigate to people who fit the culture of the brand. Okay. We just, we have a certain culture. We're honest people. We're not trying to be shysters. We don't really care for people who are just always argumentative. Mm-hmm. And so if I'm going to sign a 10-year, be part of a 10-year contract, the last thing I want is have someone that's like literally barking in my ear every day, right? Mm-hmm. It's important. I want to grow. I want to have feedback, right? But I don't want to be nagged at.
Well, yeah, we're at the same life cycle of our companies in that luckily, well, not luckily, we all work toward it. We're at a point now where we get to turn people away. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, it was very hard at the beginning to not say yes to everybody. I wanted to, because as a fledgling, franchise system, cash really helps pay the bills, So I've said no to a bunch of people that weren't going to fit the culture like you're talking about, or they weren't the right fit. Their personality wasn't the right fit. And now that we're working with Frank Growth, just like you guys, they're bringing us great qualified candidates. They've been vetted. They want to work. They've got the capital.
Yeah.
And they want to get on board and build something.
Yeah. Frank Growth they're vetting these guys to the point where there's only 4% of them ever going to make it to your meet the team day. So they're weeding those guys out. Mm-hmm. that are going to be headaches or can't get funded or have the wrong personality, don't have any drive, or looking for, what is the term we keep hearing recently? People want to have a business, they can be hands off. They want to
semi-absentee.
Like when I hear that, I almost cringe.
Do you guys take on absentee or semi-absentee?
We only if they have a hire a general manager.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We can't.
I still want 20 hours a week out of the owner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's got to be 15.
My argument is it's a service business. And we're assigning work every day. We're intaking work every day. Somebody has to be on top of that. You can't do that
100%.
Remote. You can't be disengaged from the business and have that happen.
Well, plus the technicians need support. They need someone that, hey, this is going wrong. The homeowner's unhappy. My equipment broke.
This
my
gate code's not working.
Gate code's not working. They need someone.
There's always something.
Yeah. I need some more supplies. There has to be someone that they can lean on.
And, that's something that I preach to the franchisees incessantly, and they're probably sick of hearing it, is that if you leave it up to somebody else to determine the success of your business, you're going to fail. It's up to you. You put the money in. You're the money person. You're the driving force behind the team, behind the employees. It's up to you to be successful. And, I've known a lot of business owners through the past, 35, how long have I been working? Oh God, too long. But every business that I've seen that's failed, well, there's a couple of different reasons. One, they weren't trained properly or they didn't have the capital. But more importantly, the owner was not involved in the day-to-day. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if the owner's not, they get surprised when they do turn up and things aren't going as planned.
And why are they're so surprised?
Like, every time. You should do it this way. It's like, where were you?
It's true.
Stop playing golf for a second. Come on.
There you go. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sorry. I'm curious. what is the next year, 3 years, 5 years look like for you guys?
I got to tell you, it's very exciting times over here, just like for you guys. You know, we're on the beginning of the hockey stick, just like you guys are, because we made a good decision and got with Fran Growth. Good people, they do a good job. Lots of honesty, lots of integrity, very straightforward. And they're really good at what they do as an FSO. You know, we've got 5 more we're bringing on by the end of the year.
Terrific.
Probably 15 territories or so. The goal for next year is 20 to 25 new owners. Now, if I could field all the private equity calls that are coming in, I'd have more time in my day. But I don't know about you guys, but they're like beating down my door already. And I'm thinking, well, no, we're not ready.
Not ready.
No,
maybe not yet. You know, it's maybe not yet. But
I'm having too much fun to sell. What are you talking about? I want to.
It's really starting to make money now.
I spent 10 years building this thing. I want to make sure.
I'm starting to get a paycheck now.
I actually got a paycheck last month.
That's kind of fun.
That's funny.
Wow, you got to love that stuff. Love getting paid. Who knew? Who knew you could start a business and get a paycheck? We're always the last one to get paid.
No, it's always that way.
And that's fine. That's because you know what? That's what we signed up for.
But you know what? You're the first one rewarded too when it hits. It's just like the franchisee. They may have to go without a check 1 or 2 times, but when it hits, they're the one that gets the big check.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact. Yeah, we've had a couple of one franchisee sell their territory, and he did great. Well, he had to sell it because he was moving to a different city, taking a big corporate job. So, but he sold it and he made out like a bandit.
So that's one thing that people don't realize. When you buy a franchise, you're buying an asset. That is your asset.
You're building an asset.
You're building
an
asset.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And being part of a brand makes your asset even more valuable. I mean, instead of just being a mom and pop shop, you're actually part of a much larger network.
100%.
Yeah.
So 3-5 years down the road?
Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, man. I know we're growing. But if I had a crystal ball, I would probably get a bigger paycheck every week. In 3 to 5 years, we will definitely be 100+ owners.
Wow.
However many territories, I don't know, but it's that thing like if you're grinding, and then it starts to happen, and you go, okay, why are we successful now? What's happening now? Let's look at that. Let's look at the playbook, and then you grind some more, and then you grind some more, and you go, oh, there's a little more success. Why is that? Oh, because we're working. We've got a team that we've built and everybody's working toward the same goal. And, you know, the service industry is always growing. Homeowners, commercial property managers, industrial. Heck, we looked at a nuclear power plant a couple of days ago. Everybody's looking for good service companies to produce jobs.
Yeah.
And if you show up, do the job for a price that's acceptable, you're going to get hired again and again.
Yeah,
so true. Wow.
Very, very true.
Definitely hearing, it's like listening to a mirror.
Right.
If you can do such a thing. I'm hearing a lot of the same philosophy that we have, and I can see we've come from a similar place, and we're at a similar place.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
So
it'll be fun to go down this road together.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I'm so happy to have had the opportunity.
This is the first of many meetings, you know.
Oh, I hope.
We've already had a couple experiences together, and so this is just a fun, activity. I actually have some friends of mine actually looking at Mr. Duct Cleaner here in town.
Terrific.
And so it's interesting to see. I'll have to tell you off air about some people that I know that I'm talking to Fred that are working on it. And,
fantastic.
And so I'm in the sidelines kind of going, let's make this happen. Let's make this happen. But honestly, Les, it's been a pleasure having you here. I love seeing
appreciate you guys.
Entrepreneurs that have built something great that they can take to the nation and just expand. Because yes, obviously we want to make money as franchisors, but we're really making an impact. Every single owner, we're able to help them get out of their corporate life, out of their dead-end jobs, building something in their communities. I think that's pretty cool.
Well, it's funny, being part of the community. Of course, I've been in my community for a long time, so I have a lot of people that come to me because they've seen the vans around, they know me. But even to this day, if I'm at the gas station or the grocery store or somewhere out and I see a restoration company or an HVAC company, I'm still hustling.
Oh, yeah.
Because if the franchisees know that I'm still hustling, they're going to go, how is the boss outworking me? And they go, I got to get out there and get some more referral partners.
Yeah, you get them inspired.
Yeah, get them inspired. Yeah. You got to inspire the troops.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to look into a Mr. Duct Cleaner franchise, what's the best way to do that?
I would go to mrductcleaner.com. There's a form to fill out there for franchise opportunities. That will come to our team. We will get you with Fran Growth, and start down that path.
Excellent. Love it. Well,
Yeah.
thank you very much again for coming in.
Yeah, appreciate you
And,
guys having me.
Yeah,
can't wait
absolutely
for-
love having you.
We're going to have a great week next week at the TES show.
Yes, we will.
And so a lot of good opportunities. I told you it was a good time, Bill.
No, yeah, you did.
Awesome.
And it was.
Well, thanks again. And thank you, everyone, for listening. We'd like to thank you for listening to the Holeinthewall Business Podcast with Bill and James. We'd love for you to join our Facebook group and keep the conversation going. If you'd like to learn more about us and our business, check us out at holeinthewall.com. If you'd like to learn more about how to start a Hole in the Wall franchise, go to holeinthewallfranchising.com.